Prabhupada ki jai. Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Gauridas Pandit ki jai.
Hare Krishna. So this morning, scheduled was a very dear god sister Mandakini, and she sat here on surprise reasons after what happened last night. We all hear about, at least we have the good fortune to associate with devotees like Mandakini and the exalted Vaishnavas here, and see the reflection, not the reflection, but the actual manifestation of wonderful qualities. Eternal associates of the Lord appear in this world, certainly to give teachings, to leave teachings in this world, but particularly their living example of their qualities. Religious principles are established, which it says, by the behavior. Is there, now some of you don't speak English, is there some means of, our time is so short, is there some means of translation for those who do not speak English?
Qui ne comprend pas l'anglais?
Nobody? Here, I think here, there are quite a lot of devotees here who don't speak English. Maybe. Possible if it's there, keep your eyes open and ears open. Try to give them what we can. The Mandakini had her last night, I won't mention names, but somebody was, I happened to be with Mandakini and somebody was there. And they said, oh, tomorrow is Rupa Goswami's Tirabhav. And Mandakini, she was planning to give class, prepare class. I don't know. Oh no, I can't. And they said, you got to speak on Rupa Goswami. She said, no, I need time to prepare, And that humility, and I said to them, Maharaj, you should give. Anyway, she kind of, I don't know if convinced, I'm always eager to be in the center and to be given whatever respect I can grab hold of. paltry that it may be. But anyway, she kind of insisted. Her humility. On top of that, honesty. She said, I need time to prepare. I said to her, it's okay, I don't need to prepare class. I don't bother preparing classes. She said, I know. So she's honest, I'm dishonest because I did make it, as you can see, I don't carry these around with me all the time. Obviously I did some type of preparation, not as, what can I say? Somehow or another reminding us of the Goswami at least, reminding us of the qualities of Vaishnava and Mandakini. Now I would request, although, Gandhar Kayut here, if at all possible, and I say, is it possible, I don't know, but if at all possible, if we could give Mandakini some time, when we were together, I suppose 5 or 6 or 7 weeks ago, I don't know, quite some time, 7 weeks, 8 weeks maybe now, ago in a place called Lincoln. You've probably never heard of it. It's a city in England, in the north. And there in Lincoln, the devotees, ISKCON, they regularly have it. It's a retreat centre purchased by one of our members. A very fancy 5-star hotel retreat centre. And they host different programs there. So this was a Prabhupada disciple reunion hosted there. And it was all, you didn't have to pay. It was all sponsored. So you could pay if you wanted, but it was sponsored, very nice. And, first, the room, I don't know what did they give you your own room? Yeah, I have my own room too. Some families shared.
I shared with Sarva. We decided.
Okay.
We decided.
Wonderful association, Sarvamangal. And they give me more, but they know that nobody can stay with me. I'm intolerable. So to protect everyone else, they give me. And anyway, what can you say? Almost as good as our guest house here, almost. Yeah. But, carpeted floors, attached bathrooms, everything works. Nice beds, everything, tables, name it. Very fancy facility. It was a hotel, 4-star hotels, and swimming pool, massage clinic. Everything's there, sauna, you name it, lakes, everything's there on the property, forest, very fancy place. So Mandakini was there. I have a little credit there, but my only credit about that program is I did encourage you to come, and maybe that helped you to come. Are you glad you came?
Very, very happy.
Very happy, good. And everybody was very happy you came because she spoke. I was unable to go. I had another online class at the same time. But one morning she spoke on the Russian Yatra, and for 2 hours about the history and the goings on of the Russian devotees and the Russian Yatra. About 70 Prabhupada. Were you there, Rukmini? You didn't make it. There were about 70 Prabhupada disciples there, mostly from the UK. There was some we haven't seen in decades. And both were in tears. They were in tears. It was so touching. I heard all about it, and unfortunately it wasn't there. Maybe it was recorded, I don't know. But it's definitely something you should experience. I don't know if you can arrange that one evening or something. It would be very, very nice. It would be very, very, very nice. Next day we gave a presentation on France. That also had a reasonably reciprocal effect on the devotees. It was quite special. We showed our meeting with devotees with Prabhupada Murtis, That was really touching. Distributing for the Prabhupada deities to devotees in France. Very wonderful experience. and sharing that with the devotees there in the UK. So back to today, so please forgive me and forgive me, purify me, whatever it is. All the false ego and everything else that comes from that. And we're fortunate to have the association of those who are examples of the effect of Srila Prabhupada's association and awakening such wonderful qualities, which are there inherent in all of our, in each and every one of us. They're just covered over. And perversions come out. So we'll just read a little bit about Gauridas Pandit. We don't hear much about Gauridas Pandit, the original Gauridas Pandit. And this is from Pandit Swami's book on Samadhis. Very nice book describing many of the Parishads, the associates of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Gauridas Pandit, the emblem of the most elevated devotional service and love of Godhead, had the greatest potency to receive and deliver such love, making Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda the lords of his life. Gauridas Pandit sacrificed everything for the service of Lord Nityananda. That's from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Before taking sannyas, Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda visited Gauridas Pandit in Ambika Kauna. It's not far geographically from Ambika. It takes a while to get there. I don't know the direction, but I've been there a few times. Fearing their impending separation, Gauridas cried and begged the Lord to stay longer. Mahaprabhu made lifelike neem wood deities of Gaunitai to console his loving servant. Very special. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself says here he made them for Gauridas. He was so attached to him, to Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda. Gauridas, my murti form is as good as I am, said Lord Gauranga. We will forever remain in your home to accept your service. Gauridas Pandit worshipped Gauritai in many intimate ways, talking sweetly to them, cooking a variety of tasty foods, discussing Shastra with them, attending their every need throughout the day. Even when old and feeble, Gauridas ceaselessly served his worshipable lords, Sri Sri Gaurnitai. Although poor, he desired to decorate Gaurnitai with costly, beautiful ornaments. Knowing his mind, Gaur Nityananda lavishly adorned themselves. Beholding their exquisite beauty, Gauridas became astonished. Where did they get these ornaments? The deities, the deities. They suddenly manifested all kinds of beautiful ornaments and dresses because they were reciprocating with Gauridas' desire. Sri Sri Gaurnitai would often enact such transcendental pastimes in the home of their pure devotee. Oh, excuse me, and then the comment. Sri Sri Gaurnitai would often enact such transcendental pastimes in the home of their pure devotee, Sri Gauridas Pandit. One time, Chaitanya Das, Gauridas' foremost disciple. You've heard the name Hridaya Chaitanya? Have any of you heard of a devotee with that name? He's our GBC member here. So at this point he was called Chaitanya Das, not our GBC, but disciple of Gauridas. Enraptured by the kirtan, it's a big kirtan. They organized a huge Sankirtan festival on the bank of the Ganges. Enraptured by the kirtan, Gauridas' deities jumped off the altar and joined the devotees in chanting and dancing. Quite an exceptional event. Discovering the deities missing from the temple, Gauridas grabbed a stick and ran to catch Gauritai. Seeing his angry mood, Gauritai vanished. At that moment, Gauridas watched in amazement to see Gauritai enter the heart, Hridaya of Chaitanya Das. Gauridas embraced his beloved disciple, bathed him with tears, and said, "You are the most fortunate. From today your name will be Vidai Chaitanya, one of all Sri Chaitanya within his heart." Since then, Gauridas darshan at Gauridas Pandit's temple has offered in many brief intervals, like Bankaviharji in Vrindavan, to keep Gauridas from jumping off the altar. The Vijaras open and quickly close the curtains throughout the darshan time. While doing bhajan in Dear Samir Kunj in Vrindavan, Gauridas Pandit entered the eternal Gocharna Lila, cow-herding pastimes of Krishna Balaram. In Vraj, he is Subal at Wadashagopal. His samadhi is within the Shamarai temple compound in Dear Samir, Vrindavan. There's more to be said, but we'll leave it at that. Because today is Rupa Goswami's Tirubhavan. Of course, in our line coming from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, particularly for the 6 Goswamis, this is a very special day. In Vrindavan, in the Radha Damodar temple, and other places, this is one of the greatest festivals of the year, the Tirubhavan, the day when the Lord's eternal associates unmanifest their pastimes. They leave behind, in the case of Rupa Goswami, everything is needed. But the devotees sorely lament, as Agnidev Prabhu so beautifully just sang this Sapashada Bhagavat song, lamentation due to separation from the devotees. Even in our own, you could say, whatever it is, our own little lives, we also feel, when a devotee materially close people feel that it's a material thing, lamentation. Well, when somebody departs, when a devotee departs, we lament. Why do we lament? Especially if their life is being absorbed in devotional service. We lament because maybe we have mixed reasons, but spiritually we lament because now we're losing our association. By their association we were inspired, purified, guided, and so on. And to lose that association is a great loss, whether it's a Vaishnava known to us, even devotees we may not know, we may sometimes have great inspiration just by knowing of their presence. Their example of dedication to Srila Prabhupada and their Parapara. Rupa Goswami particularly, in their we're known. Prabhupada has made it clear in the Nectar of Devotion that we are Rupa Anugas. We are followers in the footsteps of the line of Srila Rupa Goswami. So this morning we'll try to enter a little bit into the dust, to roll in the dust of the lotus feet of Rupa Goswami. This is the direction or words of Prahlad Maharaj, the words of Jat Bharat, that if you want to attain the spiritual state, one must literally roll in the dust of the pure devotees. Smear that dust all over oneself. It means to be absorbed in following their path. Every day, following their footsteps of these eternal associates. It's the key to spiritual life, is to have shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord's eternal associates in various ways. So we can have this by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and the devotees of Prabhupada. We can have this little opportunity to at least think about it, hear about it, as we know that the most purifying substance, the dust of the lotus feet of the pure devotees, the foot wash of the pure devotees, the remnants of the pure devotees. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, by hearing and chanting about these eternal associates of the Lord, all the qualities that are required will develop, especially courage and determination and satisfaction. And he particularly mentions Rupa and Sanatana Goswami. I will, let's see, we'll say some prayers. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Tijaya Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavani Rashata Deshadarine Om Jnana Vinanjana Shakaya Chakshuranmritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. This verse, the next one, you may be familiar with this, is actually Sri Rupa Pranam. Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Tamayam Dadati Svabhagantikam. When was Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, who was established within this material world the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya, give me shelter under his lotus feet. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Kapada Kamana Shri Guru Vaishnava Shri Rupam Sagajatam Saharanagaratam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savarutam Buddhijanam Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Bhavan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasai Gaura Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Mani Gaura Vishema Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Achikapatu Yascha Vipasindhu Yascha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Prabhupada ki Jai. Your kind permission will proceed. Is your mother here, Janananda? Here she is. Sorry, the Krishna Kirtan, I forgot to mention her presence here today. Hare Krishna. And all the other Vaishnavas. Together we can come closer and closer to the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada and all of our acharyas. Rupa Goswami being the prominent member of our line, following Lord Chaitanya and the Gaudiya, Madhva Gaudiya, Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. Rupa Goswami acharya. And Goswami probably reminded me of what I have to say today. He came to see me this morning, so I have to give some facts and figures first. Is that right? Then I have to tell some jokes. Then I get serious. And everyone starts to pin you in the corner. Well, we're going to take a little different turn today. In terms of that, we're happy to be pinned into the right corner, into Rupa Goswami's corner. We're not going to get into many facts, and everything's a fact. It's the truth. In the material world, we talk of facts, and dates, and figures. What is the significance of all of that? Nothing really. No real value. Even if you know when someone's born, it's nice, you celebrate their birthday for all it's worth. But spiritually it has no value. Of course, the pure devotees of the Lord, it has immense value to celebrate, honor their appearances and disappearance days. So, by the mercy of those devotees and their followers, we have knowledge of some of their Vibhav and Tirobhav, their dates of appearance and disappearance. Rupa Goswami is today, his Tirobhav. And exactly when he departed from this world, there are differences of opinion. His appearance is usually understood to be around 1493, a few years after Sanatana Goswami. And departing from the world in the 1560s or 70s. I don't know. If you want to never look it up, you can find it. It's nice to know, but the day itself is what's important. To enter in, and especially to hear to try to understand and imbibe their mood and their qualities. I will read a bit about the history if time allows, but otherwise, in our short time, I'm going to go into the Chaitanya Charitamrita and read a little bit about Rupa Goswami's meeting with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's not very philosophical, you would say, but it's essential before we can, really speaking, imbibe the essence of philosophy. We have to have a basic theoretical foundation and application of that. There's a certain quality which is required. Knowledge is needed. The application of knowledge, if we want to achieve purpose, is essential. And the realization therein which is accompanied with the natural awakening of qualities, of actual qualities. We were, Goswami Prabhu and myself were discussing a particular devotee, I won't mention the name, this morning, who is extremely knowledgeable, Sanskrit scholar. But on a little bit of rebuff in, let's say, what they would like in terms of external arrangements, became completely enraged. This is a sign of knowledge, can't take it as an absolute factor, but generally this is a sign. There may be other reasons you could become enraged, but often this is a sign, at least, of the fact that knowledge in of itself is not sufficient. The necessary application of the knowledge, and the mercy of the Lord, of course, is required. And if we're in any way maintaining knowingly or unknowingly offensive mentality towards other devotees, whoever they are, there's every danger that blockage will be there. Symptomatic that we're still seeing from our own perspective, trying to measure the absolute from our own perspective, whatever perspective it is. So to see things in the light of the spiritual master opens our eyes which are blinded with the darkness of ignorance, the torchlight of knowledge. It's not just about learning theory. It's needed. We have to know which way to go, but we have to go there also. We have to know where we are, we have to know where we're trying to get to, we have to know the path of how to get there. Rupa Goswami is the light. He's the light. Janananda Goswami, Rupa Goswami. They help us to understand, first and foremost, where we're at and where we should go. And particularly Rupa Goswami. Oh, there's 2 more prayers. I'm going to read 1 or 2 of them, maybe 3. In the Mangalacharana, in the Songbook, which is a selected version of longer prayers, there are 3 prayers towards the end of this, and they're called Sambandha Di Deva Pranam, Abhideyadi Deva Pranam, and Prayojanadi Deva Pranam. And they're prayers to the, we think they're prayers, we say, to the 3 predominating deities, Mother Mohan, Govinda, and Gopinath. I'm not going to read, I'll just read the English. And to Sambandha. And Sambandha, Mother Mohan. Glory to the all-merciful Radha and Mother Mohan. I am lame and ill-advised, says Krishnadas Kaviraj. Yet they are my directors, and their lotus feet are everything to me. Those would be to Vrindavan. You know, you generally go to the Radha Mohan temple first, then you go, maybe a few others, but then you go Radha Govinda and finally Radha Gopinath. This is the order. And then that's Sanatana Goswami's worshipable deities. He's the Sambandha Acharya, to establish us in the fact of reality of who are we, where we're at, what are the truths, what are the absolute truths, the various tattvas, etc., on and on. The foundation must be there. And then Abhideya Pranam. It's like a house. You have a foundation, a house will not stand. And Rupa Goswami is like the one who helps us to build a house. He's given all the directions which are required to put that sambandha into practice to achieve prayojana. Of course, there are 3 of them are, no, it's not that Sanatana Goswami is a neophyte and all he knows is sambandha jnana, he knows everything. But that's his role, that's Mother Mohan deities, Mohan's deity. That's their special mercy. So we approach first like that. And then the Abhideya, which is Rupa Goswami's worship, therefore he's known as Abhideya Acharya. He's also Rasa Acharya, Lord Chaitanya. All the rasas are also explained by Rupa Goswami. Lord Chaitanya particularly empowered him with this. In a temple of jewels in Vrindavan, underneath the desire tree, Sri Radha Govinda, served by their most confidential associate, sit upon an effulgent throne. I offer my most humble obeisances unto them. And if we follow Rupa Goswami's instructions coming through our parampara, then Prayojan Deva Pranam, Sri Srila Gopinath, who originated the transcendental melody of Rasa dance, stands on the shore of Vangshivat and attracts the attention of the Kaura damsels with the sound of his celebrated flute, and they all confer upon us their benediction. We pray to them for their benediction in Kaviraj Goswami says. So Gopinath, she's Radha Gopinath, understood Prayojana is Raghunath Das Goswami. He wasn't directly worshipping Radha Gopinath, but he's considered to be the Acharya of Prayojana. He's the Prayojana Acharya. The goal, living in that house. You build that house and you stay there forever. In pure love. So I'm going to read something here. I hope I've got the right page. We're going to, exact year, I don't know. As I said, I didn't really look up the facts, but it's some maybe 5 years after, 4 or 5 years after Lord Chaitanya took the order of sannyas, Lord Chaitanya decided to go to Vrindavan. And he had a few other reasons for his journey. And one of them was related to Rupa and Sanatana. So he took his journey from Puri through Bengal. And whilst he was in Bengal, many people, devotees, hundreds and thousands of devotees, were following him wherever he went. And not exactly, perhaps, the ideal for a sannyasi. This was naturally happening because he was performing Sankirtan. And he also came to the place purposely, of course, where Rupa and Sanatana were residing at that time. They had written to Lord Chaitanya, they had heard about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and they'd written a letter to him in Puri. And on the basis of that, Lord Chaitanya was determined to see them. So he came to Ramkeli, which was where they were residing. Near Ramkeli was the seat of the king of Bengal, known as Saint Shah. He was Muslim. And a very unpredictable character. Sometimes he could seem quite favourable, and sometimes he was quite the opposite. So Rupa and Sanatana were his chief administrators. Sanatana became the elder brother of the two. Sanatana was older than Rupa. Sanatana was his prime minister, managing his kingdom on his behalf. And Rupa Goswami at that time, they were known, they had Muslim names. Sanatana's name was Sakhi Malik. Rupa's name was Dabir Kas. So Dabir Kas, or Rupa Goswami, he was the assistant prime minister and treasurer of the state. So they were very essential members of his government. Why he employed them is because they were so expert. They were Hindus. They could, keep the Hindu situation at bay and under control. And on top of that, Rupa and Sanatana realized if they don't take it on this service, that the Hindus will be more persecuted by this king. So to protect other Hindus and for other reasons, of course, they took on this particular part. They were born in very elevated, born in Madhva Sampradaya, their fathers were Brahmins, Brahmin line, Karnataka. And they were born in a very elevated way, you could say, from an external perspective. But their father moved to Bengal and they were born there. They were in this line of elevated Brahminical line, but they accepted this position and they were ostracized, basically. They were rejected by the caste Brahmins in Bengal because they took service of the Muslim king and they were considered to be outcasts. Of course, they weren't outcasts as such. They were absorbed in devotional service. Even in that world, they turned their house into Vrindavan, like a hidden Vrindavan. Everything was there, Govardhan, Radhakund, everything was like a little Vrindavan hidden. They were super rich, they had all the facilities. Like that. They changed their names from Amara and Santosh, it's not Santosh, Brahmin names, to the Muslim names. And then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he came to Ramkeli, which is on the banks of the Ganga, north of Nagpur, when they came on the banks of Desh side. And when Lord Chaitanya came there, again, thousands of people gathered around, dancing, chanting, and following him. This came to the attention of the Nawab. And the Nawab called Rupa and Sanatana and asked, what's going on? I've heard that there's some Hindu prophet prophet or something who's attracting the attention of hundreds of thousands of people. What's happening? So we're going to take the story up at this point in time. In private, the king inquired of Dabir-Kas, who began to speak about the glories of the Lord. Rupa Goswami said, "The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who gave you the kingdom, and whom you accept as a prophet, has taken birth in your country due to your good fortune. This prophet always desires your good fortune. By his grace, all your business is successful. By his blessings, you will attain victory everywhere. Why are you questioning me? Better that you question your own mind. Because you are the king of the people. You are the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, you can understand this better than I." Very clever. Thus, Rupa Goswami informed the king about his mind as a way of knowing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He assured the king that whatever occurred in his mind could be considered as evidence. He was starting to think he was actually the personality of Godhead. The king replied, and he says, "I consider Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is no doubt about this." After having this conversation with Rupa Goswami, the king entered his private house. Rupa Goswami, then known as Dabir-Kas, also returned to his residence. After returning to his residence, Dabir-Kas and his brother decided, after much consideration, to go to see the Lord incognito. Thus, in the dead of night, the two brothers, Dabir-Kas and Sakar Malik, went to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu incognito. First they met Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur. They were also traveling, at this point they were traveling with Lord Chaitanya. Sri Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur told Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that two personalities, Sri Rupa and Sanatan, had come to see him. In great humility, both brothers took bunches of straw between their teeth. There's lots of straw in Mayapur. If you want to get this chance, you can help in the farm. I don't know, you have to do with straw, collecting up the hay or the straw, whatever it is. Make straw bale houses, do something like it. Both brothers took bunches of straw between their teeth, and each binding a cloth around his neck, fell down like rods before the Lord. This was the Dandavat. Dandavat means like rods. Not enough just to say, "Please accept my Dandavats, Prabhu." Pam ho. Pam ho, Prabhu. Pam ho, perhaps. It was Agata Sapa. You see it all the time in males. We need some fresh air by the looks of it. Here comes the fresh air. Jai. That's what I said, let the class of the difference. I'm putting you all to sleep. You can't sleep. I'm shouting my head off you. I'm putting you to sleep. When you catch up, I'm sure you didn't get enough rest. And we're in the dead of night, so what's expected here anyway? We're announcing at the dead of night here. So what does it mean, straw in the mouth? It means humble humility. Whatever you want me to do, this is the secret of spiritual life. Father said the only question you ever ask the spiritual master is, how can I serve you? You have to be prepared to do what they say, otherwise don't ask it. That's the mood of a devotee. That's the mood. We're always in that mood. That should be our mood. We should be here to render service. We are in that mood, humble mood. We felt like rods. Upon seeing Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the two brothers were overwhelmed with joy. And out of humility they began to cry. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked them to get up and assured them of all good fortune. The two brothers got up, and again, taking straw between their teeth, they humbly offered their prayers with folded hands. All glories. Let's see. Let's chant one or two verses. We'll chant this. Jai Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Jaya Maya Patita Pavana Jaya Jaya Mahashaya. All together. Jaya Jaya
Jaya Jaya
Shri Krishna Chaitanya
Shri Krishna Chaitanya
Jaya Maya
Jaya Maya
Patita Pavana Jaya
Patita Pavana Jaya
Jaya Mahashaya.
Jaya Mahashaya.
All glories to Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the most merciful Saviour of the fallen souls. All glories to the Supreme Personality. And then he spoke to Lord Chaitanya. Sir, we belong to the lowest class of men, and our associates and employment are also of the lowest type. Therefore we cannot introduce ourselves to you. We feel very much ashamed standing here before you. Now, just see how the Acharya works. And many times we see this, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Haridas Thakur, Goswami's group in Snatan here. How they appear at certain points of time to be like this. They consider themselves very lowly fallen. They always do, of course. But literally in terms of their external behavior. Sometimes even in terms of the doctrines which they put forward. Doesn't this make it a little bit easier to identify with? It should do. I don't know where you're coming from in terms of your prior to coming to the shelter of Srila Prabhupada, but many of us were coming from very degraded materialistic backgrounds or philosophical backgrounds of a hopefully connected but not very elevated nature, if at all, and very sinful lives, most of us. They're also one of the prime teachings of Rupa Goswami is that anyone can take universal. Anyone can take to Krishna consciousness no matter where we're born, or what your race is, or what your gender is, or whatever it may be, class and so on. Even if we're very sinful by, you can say, material designation, anyone can become a beautiful. We just have to follow that footsteps. So they're putting themselves in this position of being very fallen. Dear Lord, let us inform you that no one is more sinful than us, nor is there any offender like us. Even if we want to mention our sinful activities, we would immediately become ashamed and want to speak of giving them up. Pretty hard to give them up, isn't it? We were talking this morning, Goswami Prabhu and myself, about how previous samskaras are so ingrained. Goswami Prabhu was saying they're like tattoos. We don't need tattoos. Our generation doesn't need tattoos. We're tattooed inside out. We're tattooed inside. You might be tattooed outside, but we're tattooed inside. It's so strong, isn't it? And sometimes you don't realize it until later in life how tattooed we may be and what to do. We'll hear about what to do. Two brothers admitted, Dear Lord, you have incarnated to deliver the fallen souls. You should consider that in this world there is none so fallen as us. You have delivered the two brothers, Jagai and Madai, but to deliver them you did not have to exert yourself very much. It's true, they were quickly delivered. With us, we kind of hang on to our tattoos till death we do part, We still don't part, even at death. We're still trying to hold on to them. Sometimes we hope that the Lord will be merciful, at least let go at one point. The brothers Jagai and Madai belonged to the Brahmin caste, and their residence was in the holy place of Navadvip. They never served low-class persons, nor were they ever instruments to abominable activity. Jagai and Madai had but one fault: they were addicted to sinful activity. However, volumes of sinful activity can be burned to ashes simply by a dim reflection of the chanting of your holy name. That's not enough, is it? Jagai and Madai uttered your holy name by way of blaspheming you. Fortunately, that holy name became the cause of their deliverance. We too are millions and millions of times inferior to Jagai and Madai. We are more degraded, fallen, and sinful than they. Actually, we belong to the caste of meat-eaters because we are servants of meat-eaters. Indeed, our activities are exactly like those of the meat-eaters. Because we always associate with such people, we are inimical toward the cows and Brahmins. It's a beautiful purport to kind of allow how important association is. Next verse. The two brothers, Shakra Malik and Dabia Khas, very humbly submitted that due to their abominable activities they were now bound by the neck and hands and had been thrown into a ditch filled with abominable stool-like objects of material sense enjoyment. Sometimes still attached to that stool. No one within the three worlds is sufficiently powerful to deliver us. You are the only saviour of the fallen souls, therefore there is no one but you. If you simply deliver us by your transcendental strength, then certainly your name will be known as Petit Pavan, the saviour of the fallen souls. Srila Prabhupada delivering millions of fallen souls and meat-eaters, servants of meat-eaters, and so on. He's really Petit Pavan. Let us speak one word that is very true. Plainly hear us, O merciful one. There is no other object of mercy within the three worlds but us. We are the most fallen. Therefore, by showing us your mercy is most successful. Let the power of your mercy be exhibited throughout the entire universe. Let us submit one piece of information before you, dear Lord. It is not at all false, but it is full of meaning. It is this: if you are merciful upon us, then it will be very, very, if you are not merciful, rather, upon us, then it will be very, very difficult to find more suitable candidates for your mercy. What do you make of this? Does it mean anything to us? Does it have any significance in our devotional lives? Or is it just something we hear about and maybe don't even listen? Does it have any relevance to our own progress in Krishna consciousness? Not really. They said not really. Insignificant. I don't need to hear all this. I'm already a pure devotee of the Lord. I'm so humble. I don't even reveal it. One day I will realize that I'm actually the only pure devotee around here. See how humble I am. Does it mean anything?
Can I just say something about that?
Please.
Yeah, that's what I like about devotees, that they put themselves down. Then you can trust someone like that.
Mm-hmm. I love it when devotees put themselves down and I feel higher. I feel much better. I feel like I'm greater than they are. This is the devotional way of looking at it. You can serve them. How can you serve them if they're down there? How can you serve them if they're down there?
Go lower.
You go lower. You know the word humble, you know where it comes from. It comes from the word humus. Humus means earth. What is lower than the straw on the street? The earth. That's way humbler than the straw on the street. Seeing oneself the lowest.
But you like to serve the humble, don't you? You like naturally to serve the humble.
Yes. Okay, now you're really enlightening us, opening our darkened eyes. Not everybody does, but you do. You like to serve the genuine humble. Those who are genuinely humble. That's a topic in itself. They're manifesting this in their relationship with Mahaprabhu. It's such a big topic, we will not go further on it. The basis, dhyana, humility. Even at the elevated stage, I'll read you one statement of Rupa Goswami. Oh, the buttons have been pressed. Okay, never mind. From Rupa Goswami in the Nectar of Devotion, Prabhupada has summarized it. This translation is a summary, but it's actually from Rupa Goswami. And this is a section. Now we're coming to a higher level. This is in the chapter dealing with ecstatic love. Character of one in ecstatic love. This is called Great Hope. Many of the elder devotees will be familiar with this statement. It's a really important statement. The strong conviction, this is Prabhupada's summary, of course, but it's Rupa Goswami's words. I looked it up in this book, and it is there. This is the actual Sanskrit and commentaries of Vishwanath and Jiva Goswami on Nectar of Devotion. The strong conviction that one must certainly receive the favor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is called in Sanskrit, what's it called? Asha Bandha. What does Asha Bandha mean?
Asha is hope.
You come to inspire us in book distribution. Welcome. Welcome. What a wonderful surprise to see you here. Thank you for coming. Asha Bandha. And then Prabhupada goes on. Asha Bandha means to continue to think. Because I'm trying my best to follow the routine principles of devotional service, I am sure that I will go back to Godhead, back to home. In this connection, one prayer by Rupa Goswami is sufficient to exemplify this hopefulness, he says. It sounds hopeless, but it's hopeful. Mm-hmm. I have no love for Krishna, nor for the causes of developing love of Krishna, namely hearing and chanting, and the process of Bhakti Yoga by which one is always thinking of Krishna and fixing his lotus feet in the heart is also lacking in me. As far as philosophical knowledge or pious works are concerned, I don't see any opportunity for me to execute such activity. But above all, I am not even born of a nice family. Therefore, I must simply pray to you, Gopi Jana Vallabha, Krishna, the maintainer and beloved of the gopis. I simply wish and hope that some way or other I may be able to approach your lotus feet. And this hope is giving me pain, because I think myself quite incompetent to approach that transcendental goal of life. So that's the words of Rupa Goswami. And this is in the chapter of ecstatic love. It's not just that this is just something for a sentimental neophyte. The purport is that under the heading of Ashabandha, one should continue to hope against hope that somewhere or other you will be able to approach the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. And there's some clues in that verse, of course, many clues. But first of all, because recognizing our fallen condition is not always so easy either. We're sometimes proud of it rather than embarrassed by it. Yes, I am. I try to advertise it. And whatever mundane knowledge we got, sometimes we're proud of that too. And whatever reflection of pure devotion is there, we sometimes try to advertise that. And the other is the total dependence. By only your mercy alone can deliver such a fallen soul as this, begging for that mercy, but at the same time dedicating oneself to following the path, not just depending on mercy, both must be there. We are very depressed at being unfit candidates for your mercy. Yet since we have heard of your transcendental qualities, we are very much attracted to you. The qualities, as Maharaja Prabhu said, the qualities of humility are very attractive. A genuine person wants to serve such a person. Indeed, we are like a dwarf who wants to capture the moon. Although we are completely unfit, a desire to receive your mercy is awakening within our minds. By serving you constantly, one is freed from all material desires and is completely pacified. This is a kind of a deep subject, but freed of all material desires. And sometimes we tend to have a little mixture there. We think that my material desires should be satisfied in devotional service in and of themselves, but they are satisfied in the deepest senses, and we lose all interest in them. But not that they should be facilitated to accommodate. There isn't that level at the beginning where that's obviously there, but ultimately that's not the purpose, is to be completely attached to Krishna, freed from any attachment to material objects. When shall I engage as your permanent eternal servant and always feel joyful to have such a fitting master? After hearing the prayer of Dabir Kas and Sakar Malik, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "My dear Dabir Kas, you two brothers are my old servants. My dear Sakar Malik, from this day your names will be changed to Srila Rupa and Srila Sanatana. Now please abandon your humility, for my heart is breaking to see you so humble." Prabhupada says, actually this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's initiation of Dabir Kas and Sakar Malik. They approached the Lord with all humility, and this is initiation humility. And the Lord accepted them as old servants, as eternal servants, and he changed their names. It is to be understood from this that it is essential for a disciple to change his name after initiation. Prabhupada speaking here on that topic. If a person does not change his name after initiation, it is to be understood that he will continue in his bodily conception of life. I'll read a few more verses and we'll finish this almost 9. We've not hardly started with anything. You have written several letters, Lord Chaitanya continues, showing your humility. I can understand your behavior from those letters. By your letters I could understand your heart. Therefore, in order to teach you, I sent you one verse which reads as follows. Para vyasanini nadi yagrapi griha karmasu tadeva vadayat jantar navasanga sayan. If a woman is attached to a man other than her husband, she will appear very busy in carrying out her household affairs. But within her heart, she is always relishing feelings of association with her paramour. Lord Chaitanya gives that example. What he means is, in practical terms, what does he mean in practical terms in regards to Rupa and Sanatana? What does he mean? Anyone else to say Parabita Prabhupada to speak? Mandakini?
That although they carry out their duties for the Muslim king, their mind should be completely absorbed in Krishna.
Yes, internally absorbed in Krishna. Externally we may go about our worldly businesses, whatever they may be. And most of us are grihastas. They have jobs, they have families, they have responsibilities in our world, social and so on. But internally absorbed in Krishna. We don't give all those things up unnecessarily, but they do it in consciousness of Krishna. So that Rupa and Sanatana are engaged in business, but their actual heart is in Krishna consciousness.
So Goswami is very humble, says, I have no taste. But as you can see, we are here, gathered together to hear. So we have some taste, but we have also taste, some of us, for things outside to hear. So what would you
have one?
No, we have a taste to hear about crystal consciousness, otherwise we wouldn't be here. But we have, some of us, also taste to hear about mundane things, or to see a movie. So what would your advice
Honesty.
goes to,
what to do? Well, it is association, isn't it? Prabhupada gave this opportunity for us to come together and associate with him, his teachings, and our Acharya's teaching. He's given us his association there, no doubt because of our past association. You know, that attraction is still there. Blame anyone, it's their own root cause, but by so much association we have this taste. It takes time. Well, Rupa Goswami in the Nectar of Instruction is also given a key verse in the Nectar of Instruction. I can't remember it off by hand, but he gives them, some of you may remember it off by hand, the key instruction how, one who is suffering from jaundice, how do we become cured of jaundice? It's a cure there. One takes sugar candy. It may take some time, and then the disease of jaundice will be cured. So those suffering from ignorance, which means us, ignorance meaning our attraction or absorption in the material world and identifying with it, and it is cured. And it's cured by how? How is it cured? That ignorance, the disease of ignorance, is cured by what? How is it cured? Bhagavatam starts off with the same procedure in the second chapter. The whole thing is clearly outlined how it works, how that curative process takes place. By carefully and regularly hearing and chanting the holy name and pastimes of the Lord. In the association of devotees particularly, it's recommended, and this is also, this takes time and it depends on our sincerity. Prabhupada used the word sincerity in this regards. They're sincere, even though all these difficulties are there, one will continue in one of the efforts. And again, this is such a topic, expansive topic, mentioned unlimited times in Shastra, of the effects of association with devoted Sangamata and Passion and so on, how it changes our heart, the association. We may have all kinds of material desires, tendencies, material things. Sometimes we slip, and sometimes we do get attracted and we watch a movie, or I don't know what we do something like whatever it is. Enjoy material nature for yourself. Go for something or another. Different things that people may do, and there's so many ways. We're still so conditioned. We just had this Brahmacharya convention in London with about 60, 70 brahmacharis, and I asked for anonymous questions. I'm still going through them. I think it's about 80 questions I was given in paper. And at least 10 to 20% of them were about the usual things that, young men, problems they have, what to do about it, They don't have to deal with it, the urge. And it's a reality. We've still got these impressions. They carry on sincerely as the 11th canto in the Bhagavatam. I don't know who is it speaking, I can't remember. But someone's explained there, even though in the beginning stages we have faith, we have an attraction of some kind, but we're still weak and we still have tendencies and attractions towards the material. But if one carries on sincerely, serving as best one can, knowing that these things are not good, but we're very weak due to the past, or maybe, association we're having now for whatever reason. Weak. We get easily weak and carried away by our, emotions, our sensual desires and so on. It's very hard. But to carry on sincerely, repenting is the key word mentioned there. Repenting it. And that means also when we're dealing with devotees, repenting that we get angry with them, or we mistreat them, or misjudge them, or whatever it may be. We all got challenges, the repentant feeling that one becomes eligible, one becomes a candidate for the mercy of the Lord. Canto chapter 20, verse
27 and 28.
21.
27 and 28.
27, 28. 11, 20, 27, 28. Read it. Read it.
Having awakened faith in the narration of my glories, being disgusted with all material activities, knowing that all sense gratification leads to misery, but still being unable to renounce all sense enjoyment, my devotee should remain happy and worship me with great faith and conviction. Even though he is sometimes engaged in sense enjoyment, my devotee knows that all sense gratification leads to a miserable result, and he sincerely repents such activities.
Yeah. I didn't read it before, not now. There are several verses like that which are quite realistic.
Can you say again the number?
11, Canto, chapter 20, text 27 and 28. I have one more verse or two. I just wanted to quickly finish this section. I really had no business in coming to Bengal, but I have come just to see you two brothers. Everyone is asking why I have come to this village of Ranakedi. No one knows my intentions. It is very good that you two brothers have come to see me. Now you can go home. Do not fear anything. Birth after birth you will be my eternal servants. I am sure that Krishna will deliver you very soon. The Lord then placed his two hands on the heads of both of them, and in return they immediately placed the lotus feet of the Lord on their heads. After this, the Lord embraced both of them and requested all of the devotees present to be merciful upon them and deliver them. When all the devotees saw the mercy of the Lord upon the two brothers, they were very much gladdened, and they began to chant the holy name of the Lord. Hari, 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 Hari. Time doesn't allow us to go any further, I'm afraid. Rupa Goswami, of course, is not just birth after birth. He may expand in the Lord's various incarnations to accompany him birth after birth. But his eternal service, internal, external, eternal, whatever, eternal service to the Lord is as who knows who Rupa Goswami is. Excuse me? Who is he? Loka. Excuse me?
Rupa Manjari.
Rupa Manjari. This is a beautiful painting of Rupa Manjari. Have a look at it. And of course in this sadhaka form, oh my goodness, I didn't notice that. He's got Ramdas Prabhu, to Ramdas Prabhu and family. You know Ramdas? Praneshwar Prabhu. This must have been given to him. I found it. It's very old. This is 1994. This picture was given to him by Mahavishnu Swami. Isn't that amazing? Oh my God. It's got Mahavishnu Swami written on there. 31st of January 1994. Given to Ramdas Prabhu and family who lives here in France. I found it. I was looking through the library in Paris about 3 months ago, and I pulled this picture out of a Prabhupada Lilamrita. It was just stuck in the book in the library in Paris. If I see him, I'll give him this picture.
You can give it back to him.
Huh?
You can give it back to him.
Yeah, that's what I say. If I see him, I don't see him very often. He
He's
doesn't
coming.
come. Huh?
Mahavishnu Swami. Or are you talking about Ramdas?
Ramdas.
Oh.
This is Ramdas's picture. Mahavishnu Swami is coming tomorrow, I believe, to New Mayapur. So, some of you know it. Some of you have heard about it. So you better get your dancing shoes on. The Namahata Swami is coming. I call him the Namahata Swami because he wears a hat and he's got the name all over it. So he's the real Namahat Swami. He's spreading the holy name everywhere. Namahats everywhere. Even Namahata Swami. Yeah. He gave a donation. Look at this. With thanks This is Mahavishnu. It's printed. With thanks for your kind donation towards the construction of the Sri Rupa Sanatan Memorial Temple in Ramsar, Jeshur, Bangladesh. So he gave a donation to help build this beautiful temple near Ramkeli of Rupa Sanatan Mandir. Some of you may be know. So Rupa Goswami is Rupa Manjari, and we sing Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj when he was departing the world. The day before, he asked Sridhar Maharaj, one of his most dear disciples, to sing this song, Rupa Manjari. Hare Krishna. Rupa Goswami Samadhi, anyone know where that is? If you don't know where it is, you can find out. Where is it? Radha Damodar Temple. And what happened there, Radha Damodar Temple, in relation to our movement? Pardon? What happened? Somebody was living there. Who was that? Anyone know who was living there about 50 or 60 years ago? 60 or 60 years or so ago? Srila Prabhupada. Well done, Vishnu Jan. You got it right. Srila Prabhupada was living there. And his room, if you go into his kitchen, Srila Prabhupada would sit taking prasad, he would cook in there, and sometimes he'd write in there too. What can you see? A lattice kind of window there. What do you see?
Spider.
Spiders, you know, something. You're too realistic, boy. You're so realistic.
We told them not to kill
Yeah, I don't even see the spiders, you know.
No, but he told me one time, you know, the servant was
Yeah,
taking the cobwebs away. He
yeah.
said, don't kill them.
I don't know.
Which was it?
You have such a transcendental vision. Anyway, if you're a little historic, and at least something maybe there, you'll see the Samadhi of Rupa Goswami out that little window there, at least the back of it. And you can still see it, I think. They built this kind of building on top of it. That means something reasonable. And there's also the Bhajan Kuti of Rupa Goswami in the same courtyard. Rupa Goswami Bhajan Kuti is also there. And that's there in Radha Damodar Temple, so it's really the heart. It's the heart of our Krishna consciousness movement, Prabhupada says. We call it the center, I think he used the word. Huh? Hub of our Krishna consciousness movement. So, Shri Rupa Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Go Premanande. Jai.